Hey everyone, this is smpratte, and today we're back with another market discussion video. We're going to talk about some of the recent activity in modern, I don't even know what to call it, like the recent flippage, hype, scalping, whatever we're calling it in 2021. We're talking about Delivery Pikachu, the Bear Walker skateboard, tie in some of the Wall Street bets culture, and just really go deep into the whole flipping fast money climate that we have right now in 2021. To start with Delivery Pikachu, I actually think this card has good fundamentals. I really want to talk about how fundamentals are the answer long term, and hype and all this quick money stuff. It's not sustainable. Where this card right here does have fundamentals. It's an English exclusive, which cannot be overstated. Like English exclusive is a very rare bird. That's like Shiny Ho-Oh flying over in the first episode. It is not something that happens often. So this is a actually decent concept. You got the Pokemon Center logos on here, like the delivery vibe. He's present on the website. It's got a good identity, English exclusive, and it has some type of contained release. But with that said, this was available for days. I made orders over multiple days. You just had to spend $20, a couple sitting cuties for anyone doing that on the side. That's all you had to do. Just buy a couple things for $20. You got one of those for free with your order. Even if you missed that, you could still get it pretty quickly for like maybe $50. I think that's pretty fair for what the card offers at the end of the day, because again, it does have decent fundamentals. So that's Delivery Pikachu. The other side of that is the Bear Walker Skateboard collab. What these have in common is they both broke Pokemon Center. Like, so far in 2021, like the Pokemon Center website has been more busted than active. Like you can't go on there. I was trying to buy that 3-foot chunky Pikachu, couldn't even get to checkout because the Bear Walker bots were just like destroying the site. So that skateboard had like 100-ish copies, 100-ish created. I'm about to say printed because I'm stuck in trading cards. 100-ish manufactured skateboards. It was a limited item and it sold out, I would say, probably less than an hour. Is that fair? Like very quickly. You had the typical like sneaker snipe where you had the bots come in, just devour this whole supply, break the internet, and then it's all gone within an hour. That's what happened. So what I want to do with this is just talk about, for a newer person coming in, they were going to be like, okay, well, the skateboard sold out within an hour, and these were available for like the better part of a week. So the skateboards are going to be bigger, right? That's what probably a lot of the flippers and the big brain Wall Street bet stonkers are thinking. Where in reality, I think it's probably going to be the opposite. This is where that expertise comes in. This is where fundamentals really come in. I really wanted to use this example to really teach that idea of fundamentals versus hype. So I would say both of these had decent hype. You had that crazy like 14K PSA 10 sale. I think that sale was like a parody of itself. Like the seller's name was like Sneaker Baller 69 Triple X. It was just like such a meme. Obviously, that wasn't real. You could see the metrics and data on eBay and see all the comps. But this card, in my opinion, has much more organic demand. I have yet to find the person who's like, yeah, I really wanted that Bear Walker skateboard just for myself so I can, roll around my neighborhood. I've yet to find the person who's really, just head over heels for that skateboard. You can go ahead and comment below if you are that person. And even if you are, when we go to the data indicates there isn't much organic demand. This isn't the first collab. You had like the Mewtwo, Gyarados, Rayquaza. I saw that one actually before doing this video. It was up on eBay for like 300 and change. So that's like a plus 100-ish dollar premium for an item that has 100-ish. That's a very small amount manufactured, produced. So to me, what that indicates is there's not a lot of people genuinely interested in that. Where this card back here, I wouldn't be surprised if it outpaces that price, if not already has outpaced that price, because this one has a lot more people interested. To give you a little bit more explanation, recently the E4 Secret Santa that we did, my guy was perfect. That was like expert mode, by the way. The person I had for Secret Santa, I had to dig deep to find out what they had, because they were a Pikachu collector. And it was like meant to be, because I had these Delivery Pikachus. They made an order for Pokemon Center, and their package was like destroyed or cut in customs or something like that, and they didn't get the card. So I'm like, perfect. Sent them one of these. It was meant to be. But the point is that person's a hardcore Pikachu collector, and they're not alone. Like they're not even up there with like the Quadors of the world, the master Pikachu master race. But there's so many Pikachu collectors that you only have to mess with like the general demand of Pokemon. We can just stick in practice mode with Pikachu collectors alone, and that card's going to do just fine. Because there's so much organic demand within that pool of species collectors. Pikachu's the most popular Pokemon. And then when you start getting into the nitty gritty of like English exclusive English collectors or just Pokemon collectors in general, like the big pool of demand, you see very quickly why fundamentals matter. Where if you go to that skateboard, where is demand pool for that? Are there a lot of skaters? Like my brother's a big skater. Are they like really trying to get that? No. Are skaters probably going to lean more towards the shoes? Are they going to try to get that chunky donkey? Probably. I don't see really that much organic demand for those skateboards. And again, that Rayquaza data, I think, really drives that home. If you're paying $100-ish over on an exclusive item that's limited, like find me a Pokemon card that has 100-ish copies with only $100-ish premium. Like, I don't know what that card looks like, especially in exclusive art. Like, if you do a card with 100-ish copies, it's like this stuff. Like, you're, again, up there at the top of the mountain of some of the rarest cards in the hobby. I'd be surprised you can find exclusive art, 100-ish copies card under $1,000 today. Like, I'd just be surprised. So, I think that is the point at the end of the day, is that, for the entry people who see all that hype, right? I'm trying to isolate hype versus fundamentals here. All that hype of like the skateboard, I got to buy it because everyone's buying it. I got to get to it, that FOMO. That experience comes into play because immediately your gut's like, wait, this isn't organic. I don't see that. Where a lot of people with this makes a ton of sense. Makes a lot of sense because, again, that demand pool is so varied. There's so much going on here where I don't even know what the demand pool is for those skateboards. And, the proof's in the pudding of the previous collab they did almost a year ago, where the premium is not that crazy for how limited they are. So that's a good starting point. Something else I want to talk about is going to be the whole like scalping, flipping, fast money culture. We're gonna get a little philosophical in this video. I'll do like a separate one on evolutions because I know it's something a lot of people want to hear. But right now, this whole flipping culture is simply a symptom of demand. I know people are frustrated with it, but it's nothing new. I've seen it so many times. I've seen the same cyclical process, and we're going to basically destroy flippers right now in this video, like wholesale. Like we're not going to leave any of it. Like we're going to evaporate them. So number one, flippers are just a symptom of demand. To me, they're completely irrelevant. And why that is because they can only attach themselves to things that are already working. They don't have much of a brain. They don't have much of a business plan. What's going on with all this flippage and all this stuff. It's not the path to being a multimillionaire. It's not the path to happiness. It's not really a path at all. It's just going in circles over and over again. There's not really much growth potential there. So if you look going back to like Pokemon at the store, like, the guy, Team Rocket coming in, scalping the shelves. Okay. Go down the rest of that aisle and go look at some of the less popular stuff and try to buy that. Like, do a little experiment. Try to buy it and put it on eBay at twice the price or, 50% increase. I hope you like it because it's not going to sell. Because you can only flip things that have demand, typically an exorbitant amount of demand. And that's what we're getting right now. There's a lot, people talk about, 2020 is like 2016. Forget that. 2020, 21 is like 1999. Like, forget about 2016. We're going straight to the golden era. What we have going on right now is more demand than the original golden era Pokemon. I never thought that would exist. Like, little side tangent. When I came back into the game, like almost 15 years ago, when like Dragon Frontiers was a new set, back then it was nothing. Like, I wasn't here talking into a camera. E4 didn't exist. Instagram didn't exist. Like, social media wasn't a thing. Facebook was still for college kids. Like, YouTube was barely a baby. It was just a different world. I never thought we'd be beyond the golden era. I was like, that was it. Like, 90s were it. That's it. We're never getting back there. Today, we are hands down, head and shoulders above that time. Going back to the data. Back then, you could buy a base box, $90 all day. Packs from $3 to $5 all day. We're talking base set. Like, this isn't like practice mode. Like, this is NBA championships. Like, this is the set. You could buy that $90 all day. I remember my local store, $90. If you could, back then as a kid, $90 is impossible. I could buy like 3 packs total for like $10. So back then you could buy those sets, the top sets back then. They were available. And today, Vivid Voltage, like Chunky Pikachu's like Hold My Suspicious Food Tin, because that thing came out like twice as much right out of the gate. $200 in the short term, doubling in like a few months' time. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. You didn't have that back then in the golden era. You did not have that. And if you did, it was more of an exception, where today it's more of a standard because there's so much more demand than supply. And I think Pokemon is genuinely doing their best, or trying to get as much product out there as they can. I think every time they just completely underestimate the demand that's out there. Even for myself, like what I'm learning right now as we speak is seeing that widespread demand of modern. Modern has more of a widespread demand than any category in this hobby. Sure, vintage has the deepest with the biggest whales and the biggest amount of, highest price tags, but the most widespread demand right now is in modern, by far, bar none. And, going back to the flippage, going back to like the massacre of flippers here. If you go to the store at Target, you see people going in. If you sat there, just watch them. Like, what am I advocating here? Like going into Target, just watching people buy stuff. If you could actually see those silent collectors, that data is invisible, because at the end of the day, doing that thing that makes you happy, talk about those paths of financial success and happiness. This path over here is intimate. It's inherently private. And there's a lot of flex culture, and it's creeping into Pokemon. A lot of the thumbnails with mouths open, a lot of these guys trying to increase their clout or whatever. That's rife right now. It's very easy. It's very accessible. What is difficult is discipline. What is difficult is understanding that silent majority of collectors out there. It is definitely a risk because you don't have the data. You don't have that comfort data to be like, oh, look at, there's like 2 million, whatever, 547,362 collectors as of making this video. You'll never get that. It's always an assumption. But at the end of the day, that group, like majority of people who collect and enjoy Pokemon, are not on social media showing it. They're not making videos on YouTube. They're not posting on E4. They're just enjoying their lives. And what I wanted to do here, like to eviscerate the whole flipper culture while also trying to, throw some optimism in there, is that it's just not worth your time. If you get caught up in this, and I feel it, FOMO's a hell of a thing. It gets that heart rate going, and sometimes it's true. Like, I've definitely missed some once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. We all have. I've missed plenty of them. I went cheap on an auction where if I spent another $100, I probably would have made another $100,000 right now, selling that item if I held it. You'll definitely miss some of those, for sure. But majority of them you won't. Majority of them are waste of your time. This stuff, anything that's easy to access item with a ton of noise, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Why you have all this flippage, one other thing I want to close with is because this stuff is so easy to access. If I put up a Japanese promo, if I put up this guy right here, like, what's going on here? What's this? What's this? What's on this shirt? What are we looking at here? If I show you some of these cards back here, if I show you some card-ass cards, Japanese promos I have lying around, a lot of people will understand them, be like, oh, I've seen that before here and there. But that type of stuff takes a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more effort. This low effort, no entry, that is just ripe for flippers. Because again, they don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to chase that hype, get that quick money. And some people probably do well. Like, you'll see that one guy who like made whatever it is, and everyone's like, oh, I can do that. And it's like, no, you can't, because this isn't really a profit model. There's no fundamentals here. You got to capture that moment. And some people do it well. They do. But at the end of the day, that ease to entry is why you have it. If I can go to a store and just take an item off the shelf, put it in my cart, that's no effort, right? What do I have to do? What analytic did I have to do? That's what's going on. That's why you have all this bots and all that stuff, because that's the hard part. It's just acquiring it quickly before anybody else does. And you're hoping and banking on it being exclusive. That's all it is. That's all that sneaker culture is. It's reliant on the other company to do the legwork. Where why I'm successful and why any collector of any stature, anything who's done anything meaningful in this hobby is leaps and bounds more successful than any flipper is because they did the work. They themselves grew. They themselves analyzed. They themselves went through and down that rabbit hole via passion and understood and acquired that knowledge through passion and learning, rather than just trying to do that same process over and over of just buying the new thing, flipping the new thing, going in circles over and over. And I guarantee 90% of these people are not paying their taxes. They're not even playing the same game. It's like comparing T-ball to the friggin' major leagues. It's not even the same universe. In fact, I'll do a flex. I'll do a public flex just for the video. My forgotten storage, I don't even check, is probably worth more than their lifetime sales of flipping. Why I'm saying that flex is because it's not worth your time. Value your time more. Don't get caught up in the noise. Don't waste your time going to the store, scalping the shelves like Team Rocket. It's not worth it. Buy that item. Enjoy it privately. Buy an item that, talked about for Trophy Kangaskhan. I know people are going to say the price is high right now, right? I remember talking about this when I started videos back in 2016. I was like, yeah, it makes no sense that card was a few $1,000s. Few $1,000s, guys. Like, PSA 10 of that thing was maybe flirting with 10K when I started videos. PSA 9 and under, very affordable for most people. But people slept on it. And here we are. You can buy a decent house now with the PSA 10 Kangaskhan. People miss that one. So that one isn't about FOMO. You know, you get that FOMO feeling, right? And it's similar across the board. That one works. Why? Because the first point, fundamentals. That thing kicks into gear because of fundamentals. And the more you're engaged through passion and understanding what that core is, what people want in this hobby, you'll better understand how to make those moves, how to refine yourself. That's just how you refine in general. And this whole flippage thing is such a sideshow, such a waste of time. It's easy for me to say that because this is like round 5,262. You know, I've been down this road so many times, it's just like par for the course. But again, why it's par for the course is because going down that road through passion and acquiring that knowledge organically, that's the path to success for both financial and spiritual, personal, whatever you want to call it. So there you go. We managed to turn this video on Delivery Pikachu and Stonk Skateboards into some philosophical, whatever, motivational speech, but there it is. I think there's a lot of important discussion in there. I've seen other people talk about an E4 here and there, but I thought that angle was important because I'm trying to speak not only to the serious collectors, but a lot of the new people coming in, so you can understand that this is just nonsense, man. Like, this stuff is just such a waste of your time. You know, it's a waste of energy to keep up with all these stonks. Buy something that has fundamentals. Just chill out and enjoy life, and you'll be much happier. And again, we'll do one more little flex at the end. One more little flex. I won't even use myself. All the serious collectors and people I know who've been here a decade plus are like a whole nother league compared to any flipper. Most flippers have disintegrated. They've dissolved because they can't last. But some of them that have, it's like, again, T-ball compared to the major leagues. It's like the best guy at your YMCA who can do like whatever. He can dunk or do one thing, and comparing that to LeBron. It's like not even the same ecosystem. So there you go. Enjoy your life. It's all about fundamentals. I like the whole Wall Street bets meme. I think it's funny as an observer, but don't do that with your life savings. Like, don't do that to like think you're going to go there, because a lot of people only talk about their gains and they don't talk about their losses, and you learn from your losses, and you better understand fundamentals that way. So there you go. You know, deal. Let me know how you feel. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, the market discussion is kind of hybrid, kind of echoes my Patreon a bit. It's more abstract, but you know, I hope that's what you guys are looking for. It's pretty much it. Till next time.